Hi everyone, and welcome to the audio version of the Exploration Weekly newsletter, this time for the week of March 12th, 2021. I'm Renee Meredith, the COO of Exploration Group, and as always, a special shout out to two people on our team who work so hard to put this newsletter together each week, Jules Ramos and Heidi So. And now, the news. ASCAP payouts to songwriters and publishers grew in the pandemic 2020, but it was the smallest increase in 5 years. U.S.-based collection society ASCAP announced in a new annual report this week that its yearly revenue collections grew by $53 million in 2020. This is up on the $47 million growth in collections the organization saw in 2019. The collected domestic revenue was up by 2.5% in 2020 at $969 million, an increase of $24 million from 2019. That domestic U.S. revenue was partly driven by gains of 28% in audio streaming revenue and 8% in audio-visual revenue. The organization says that between 2015 and 2020, its collection saw a 6% compound annual growth rate, and its annual distributions demonstrated a 7% compound growth rate. Music Modernization Act notices of license, notices of non-blanket activity, data collection and delivery efforts, and reports of usage and payment. Pursuant to the Music Modernization Act, and after soliciting and engaging with public comments, the Copyright Office is issuing an interim rule governing notices of license, data collection efforts, reports of usage, and payment by digital music provider blanket licensees and related records of use, notices of non-blanket activity and reports of usage by significant non-blanket licensees, and data collection efforts by the musical work copyright owners. The rule addresses a variety of reporting obligations between the licensees and the MLC. For example, regarding reports of usage, the rule establishes specific requirements for blanket licensees to report usage and pay royalties to the MLC on a monthly basis, with a cumulative annual report due each year, and an ability to make adjustments to monthly and annual reports and related royalty payments. The interim rule became effective October 19, 2020. YouTube says 120 million plus U.S. viewers watched on connected TVs in December. In December 2020, more than 120 million Americans streamed YouTube and YouTube TV on their televisions, up over 20% from 100 million in March of 2020. This according to the Google-owned video streaming service. That lift, driven by the COVID-19 pandemic, helped fuel YouTube's $6.89 billion in ad revenue in the fourth quarter of 2020, up 46% year over year. Moreover, about one-fourth of YouTube's logged-in connected TV viewers last December watched YouTube and YouTube TV content almost exclusively, more than 90% of their total viewing on TV screens. YouTube is pushing its CTV reach ahead of the 2021-22 U.S. TV upfront buying season, when for the first time advertisers will be able to measure their YouTube-connected TV campaigns through Nielsen's digital ad ratings and total ad ratings. U.S. live streams earned $610 million in 2020. Live streamings went from niche to mainstream in 2020, becoming big moneymakers for artists unable to tour during the pandemic, according to new research by MusicWatch. An estimated 115 million people watched a live stream in the fourth quarter of 2020 on platforms ranging from Twitch to Mandolin. Just 9% of fans, that's roughly 10 million, paid for an event such as Kiss's New Year's Eve broadcast or Billie Eilish's October 24th live concert. That's a small fraction of the 110 million people who pay for music through streaming services or via purchases of downloads, CDs, and LPs. But the $610 million that consumers spent on virtual concerts in 2020 was more than downloads, which was $600 million, and CDs, which was $572 million. Whether or not live streaming can maintain momentum in 2021 will help determine how artists monetize their global fan bases. While 66% of fans expect to continue watching virtual performances when concerts resume, according to Krupnik, streaming services are evolving to augment the in-person concert rather than replace it. Some platforms allow artists to take questions from fans, host virtual meet and greets, and perform encores for a few select fans. Belgian collecting society Sabem joins the IceCore group in Europe. European licensing hub ICE was founded by 3 collecting societies, PRS for Music, STEM, and GEMA. However, its IceCore also licenses repertoire from other entities, such as IMRO, BMI, and independent music publishers including Downtown and Concord. Now the latter group has grown with the addition of the Belgian PRO, Sabam. We pursued an exceptionally thorough process to ensure we achieve the solution that gives our members the most royalties for the online use of their works. In joining the IceCore, we are certain we have that, said Sabam CEO Corinne Liebert. The IceCore license is currently used by more than 50 music services covering more than 130 territories. Canadian music industry encouraged by 2020's streaming growth. According to statistics by MRC Data and Billboard, music consumption grew 6.5% in Canada in 2020, buoyed by a 16.1% increase in streaming, as the number of Canadian music subscribers hit 9.3 million. In addition, total album equivalent audio consumption in Canada in 2020 reached 73.9 million units, up from 69.4 million in 2019, while on-demand audio song streams in Canada grew 16.1% in the same time frame. These figures do not necessarily reflect a similar growth in recorded music income. Nevertheless, these promising consumption figures do give the Canadian music industry hope for the future. Music Canada CEO Patrick Rogers says that engagement with audio streaming is growing across all age groups, while Canadian Collecting Society SOCAN's interim CEO Jennifer Brown revealed that there are 9.3 million subscriptions to music streaming services in Canada, up from 7.8 million in February 2020. This came despite a significant drop in bundled streaming services in Canada in 2019, when Rogers, the country's largest telco, ended its bundling deal with Spotify. That's all for me this week. Don't forget to click subscribe for more great content from Exploration. And as always, don't forget to be kind to each other.